Here we are. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Good evening, or good afternoon, or good morning, depends on where you are. I'm glad to welcome you to another appointment in this cycle of international video conferences dedicated to tramways and other means of transport. Today's presentation is made by Stefan Mink from Cologne, Germany. And he will talk about the Grossraum in Germany and Austria, a category of tram cars well known to all the tram fans. This presentation will be done in English. At the end of the evening, there will be a space for any questions in English or in Italian, and you can also use the chat in every moment during the presentation. The complete program of the forthcoming presentations is available on our internet site. And, the next presentation is scheduled on Tuesday, October 15th, and it will deal about the Tyneside tramways. This is Newcastle and the surroundings in the United Kingdom, by Hugh Macaulay. Thank you, and before giving the floor to Stefan, I repeat everything in Italian. Benvenuti a questo nuovo appuntamento. Questa sera è il turno di Stefan Mink da Colonia, Germania, e ci parlerà dei Grossraum in Germania e Austria, una categoria di tram ben nota a tutti gli appassionati di tram. La presentazione sarà fatta in inglese e alla fine ci sarà spazio per domande, come al solito in inglese o in italiano, ma potete usare anche la chat in ogni momento, se volete. Il programma completo delle prossime presentazioni è disponibile sul nostro sito internet e la prossima sarà martedì 15 ottobre e Hugh Macaulay ci parlerà dalla Gran Bretagna dei tram del Tyneside, cioè la regione intorno a Newcastle. Grazie, e ora la parola va a Stefan. Stefan, if you want to begin, you can do it.
I start with my presentation.
Yes, you can start.
Yeah. Großraumwagen in Germany and Austria is the name of the presentation. I have the focus in the photo of the cars, and only a few statistics will appear. Not too much statistics and so on. We sit, in this case, we will sit here at 4 o'clock in the morning. So the focus is the pictorial presentation. You see here the first so-called first Großraumwagen in Germany, the Große Hecht in Dresden, built in 1929. So this is a Großraumwagen. Do the not speaking friends understand if I say Großraumwagen in German? It's meant the car we're talking about this evening. It's a car on bogies, 4-axle, and about here's some noise in the background.
Kyle, could you mute your? Thank you.
Yeah. And this interior picture is what a Großraumwagen is, or a large capacity car means. one room, no walls and doors inside to separate the passenger compartment with the platform. Do you recognize this car? Yes, you are right. It's Zillertalbahn, former Ravensburg tram car via Netherlands, Rotterdam Tramwegmaatschappij. This train went to Austria. Nowadays, back to the Netherlands, riding in the Rotterdam's Tramweg Museum in Brouwersdam. Good. We start in alphabetical order. Here is Berlin. They had Grossraum wagons from the Gotha wagon factory. And also Berlin, Dresden, and Magdeburg got motor trailer sets. And all Dresden and Magdeburg cars are concentrated in Berlin because Dresden and Magdeburg got Tatra cars. Here in this picture, Grossraum wagon is pulled by an Greco car, four-wheeler. Or here with the motor car, matching motor car. In the later livery, this orange and green was called capital livery, or the Hauptstadt livery. Next is Bielefeld. There were in recent years only trailers in operation. This is a 1961 built trailer behind a six-axle car. They had also Grossraum motor cars, but they were converted to trailers in later years. With the conversion of the Bielefeld tram system in a light rail system, partly underground, all these classic trams are disappeared. Not at all. Do you see the Grossraumwagen? Yes, it's in the center of this light rail car. They put a trailer between two LRVs to enlarge capacity, and it's a real trailer. It's had no motors, no controls, but a pantograph only for heating and lighting. It was a challenge to get such a train in a picture to show the Grossraumwagen in the center of the train. And so I did it in the Lohmannshof loop in Bielefeld. In Bonn, they had really a classic Grossraumwagen. The first four were in the 1956 design with the small front, seen here in front of the central station in Bonn. All Grossraumwagens and articulated classic cars were replaced by low-floor cars, and all these trains, the Grossraumwagen and the articulated cars, Stübach cars, were sold to Sofia. Second batch of Grossraumwagen in Bonn has the front, the PCC style front, like the articulated cars will have, with some exceptions. Seen here in front of Boyle railway station. The letter V in the number route number box means Verstärkungszug. In rush hour, the timetable were very close headways from 10 minutes to 5 minutes, and these trains which shortened the headway had the letter V, except despite the route number. I'm sorry, my English is not perfect, and me also, I'm not perfect, but nearby. So here we see a former Bonn motor trailer set in Sofia. And the front of the trailer, you see, it's a straight window built in Sofia because rounded glasses are difficult to maintain and to replace if something is broken. So it's a little bit strange, the front of the trailer. We are in Bonn again. A former car from the Wesel Race light railway. It runs until 1966 from Wesel to Rees at the Dutch border. And after closure of the passenger service, these cars came to Bonn and run very, very rare. Most in school times, school parties were transported. And the last years, only for driver training duties. And this car is now in a museum in Austria, near Klagenfurt, Verlach. Yeah, Braunschweig has only trailers in recent years. The motor cars were converted to articulated cars and only the trailer left. Here it is towed by a standard Stübach tram. It's built from Deutsche Waggonbau, a German wagon factory in Berlin in 1957. This picture trying to make today is impossible because the bridge I'm standing on is since years demolished. This is a picture from the 1976. Yeah, a boxy-like trailer called Stadtbahn or light rail, matching to the motor cars. They got 12 these a little bit strange looking trailers in 1981. That were the last new-built Grossraum wagon in Germany. Yeah, Grossraum trailer will also used behind low-floor cars, but this train is too long for some platforms at the stops, and so the rear door was replaced by a window. So all doors are within the platform. Next is Bremen. It's a Hansa-built Grossraum train from 1953. 5 trains looking like this. The prototypes seen here in 1976 in the rainy place, Bahnhofsplatz railway station place in front of the railway station, the main station. Here is the serial outfit, larger windows, smaller windows, and little bit different in appearance. The picture is taken in the Gröbelingen terminus, where also is a depot just right outside the picture. Yeah. This is Bremerhaven. This tram is gone since 1982. Only one single route was left, Route 2. And this is a former Offenbach. This is our neighbor city in Frankfurt. Offenbach sold them 3 motor trailer sets to Bremerhaven. Why not to Frankfurt? It was very close and low or no transport costs. Yeah, Frankfurt said no to these trains. A minor electrical difference to original Frankfurt cars was, and Frankfurt wanted to take these trains under one condition. We pay a lower price because we have to adopt the minor electrical difference. And Bremerhaven said, yes, we buy these trains with this price you want. And so the Offenbach trains came to Bremerhaven. You see a young man climbing a rock. It's my friend Jens from Offenbach. And he saw the first time Offenbach tram, of course in Bremerhaven. And he climbed a rock to have a view from above in the flat area in northern Germany. Okay. Next is Darmstadt. Darmstadt, the only Grossraum trailer from Duwag, were 12 built in 1965. And these trailers were the only Duwag cars in Darmstadt. You see the difference. This car, the leading car, is a product of a Berlin factory, DWM. and the difference is between the roof and the window. It's a larger difference compared to the trailer. This also in Darmstadt with new paint shop introduced in the late 70s, in the early 80s in some cases. And it's a former Bielefeld trailer. Also in modern times, there are still trailers, low floor trailers, of course, built by Linke Hoffmann Busch, like the motor car. And so you have in Darmstadt a complete low floor train. Next is Dortmund. Dortmund only had 6 motor trailer sets from Dubak. The motor cars are from Dubak. In fact, the trailers were built in Kassel at Grede. Of course, the Dubak factory was busy in this time, in 1958. Because they are single-ended, it was very few possibilities to put them in service. You need loops at the end, or a triangle, and only the Sen Route 3 had loops on both ends. Here a roadster shot of a Grede-built trailer in Dortmund, seen in the central workshop on a day of the open doors. Free access to the public. Next, Duisburg. Duisburg was the world champion in rebuilding and reconstructing trams. All Grossraumwagen, bogie cars, were converted to articulated cars, and the trailers left or escaped the rebuilding were towed by 8-axle cars, here seen in the picture. The opportunity to make a roadster shot from a trailer, in most cases, it is possible in the depot area. And we are now in Düsseldorf. Düsseldorf had a large number of Grossraum trailers, most used behind articulated cars. They are built 1960 and were over 70 pieces. You see the different color of the stripes, red and gray. Original was the red stripes, the suburban and interurban routes, and gray, the city lines. And since 30 years ago, only red stripes were used for all of them, and the gray disappeared. Here you see a trailer, what the trailer is, towed by a motor car. it's a former Neuss motor car, the neighbor city of Düsseldorf. And the picture I took in Neuss, so the motor car feels at home. What more classic to show a Grossraumwagen in Düsseldorf is here. Cream paint shop, red stripes, and persil advertising. Persil is a wash powder to clean clothes and something like this. And the trailer in this train you see at the front, this was a former motor car. There was a destination blind in this position. They convert a motor car to a trailer, and why rebuild the front? It's not necessary. So you can recognize a former motor car. Yeah, here you see a double-end trailer towed by a single-end motor car. Yeah, in first these trailers, double-end trailers, were used in the urban road to Krefeld with no loops on the Krefeld terminus, and so they were towed by double-end motor cars, and they at the terminus have to shunt. And the Krefeld route is now by light rail vehicles, operated by light rail vehicles, and the former double-end trailers came to the local network using as a single-end car. And the left side or off-side doors were blocked. Essen is the next city we see. They had a large number of Grossraumwagens, but only 3 of this type with large windows, 1957 type cars, only 3. It's weekend or Sunday, they run without trailers. This is a serie. The batch with smaller windows, built in 1953-54. This was the majority of Essen's Grossraum motor cars. Trailers, of course, will be towed by articulated cars. And here you see the difference very clearly between a Dubak car and a DWM, Deutsche Waggon- und Maschinenfabrik Berlin. The distance between the window and the roof. This train is in a splendid condition, with one exception. This was an accident, a minor accident with the automobile. Be sure the automobile had been looked very bad, and the tram only a scratch, maybe. Here in Essen, also the Grossraumwagen got the new livery in yellow and blue. And you see the 1955 design with the small windows, with the 1960 design with the larger windows in one train. Welcome home. It's my home. My home is Frankfurt. Despite living in Cologne, my city is Frankfurt, my heart is Frankfurt, and my language. Okay, this the prototype Grossraum train. It's only 2 cars or trains in this with this window arrangement from 1955. Built the first Grossraum train in Frankfurt. Car 201 and 202 with trailer 1201, 1202. The motor car 202 had a bad accident in 1972. It derailed on a switch and swept over to the side. The reason why this happened? Overspeed and a mistake of the driver. It was a night car for staff only, so no passengers were inside. And the driver who did this was later one of my bosses. I was driver in Frankfurt in the Eckenheim depot, and the chief of one of the chiefs in Eckenheim was this colleague who smashed the tram. So he made a career. Sorry. This train in classic Frankfurt livery, pale yellow with gray stripes, and remarks the double headlamps. The cars from 203 to 220 were used on the suburban routes to Oberursel and Bad Homburg, cross country, and so they need better lights. And after the suburban routes were converted to light rail, in Frankfurt called U-Bahn or metro, and so they came on normal city routes to service. In off-peak or in holiday times, the Grossraum wagons in Frankfurt, internal called L-type, all cars have capital letters, motor cars has capital letters from A to T now, and the trailers with small letters. It's a hot summer day, I remember. Only 4 people are outside. It's in this picture. Here, a young lady sitting on the monument, the gentleman reading his newspaper under the shadow. The taxi driver is talking to her colleague. And the 4th person outside in the heat, that's me, taking pictures of trams. Here, the color change is clear visible. The motor cars, a classic paint job, and the motor cars that then 1972 introduced a new color scheme. The temperatures in these pictures were very better than the heat. I like more the cold temperatures than the heat. And it's a rare sight, snow in Frankfurt. This picture is taken in Schwanheim, and the car barn in the background belongs to the Frankfurt Tram Museum in Schwanheim. We had also 2.35 meters wide Grossraum trailer, only used behind articulated cars. Most the 6-axle version called type M. The normal Grossraumwagen I showed 2.20 meters wide. Yeah, Hamburg was a Grossraumwagen hotspot in former times, but the last years only the V6 type left, and it's in the spring of 1976, 2.5 years Hamburg Tram has to live. And since March 1976, the trailer operation was ceased, was over. So only single motor cars were running the last 3 routes. Route 1 at Rathausmarkt, in front of the City Hall, to the left outside the picture. Next is Hanover. Hanover was a pioneer in using Grossraumwagens in Germany from Duwag. This train is built 1951 in its original appearance. This type of motor cars has 2 bogies with motors, and the trailer, of course, no motors. The next batch, the 2.35 wide cars, has only 1 bogie with motors, and the second bogie in the motor car is only running without motor, and normally the second motor bogie is placed under the trailer. So the first bogie for the motor car and the trailer, a motorized trailer, here was typical for Hanover. But the trailer couldn't operate without a motor car. Has no pantograph and no controllers. It must be coupled with a motor car, a real motor car. Some of these train sets, motor trailer sets, were converted to subway operation. Oh, Putin listened to my presentation. I don't know what this is, the noise.
Klaus-Dieter Keil, bitte mach mal den Ton aus. Klaus-Dieter Keil, please mute.
Okay, now it's
Thank you.
over. Thank you. This train is for subway operation prepared, but it never materialized. No passenger was transported in subway with these trains. It was only an attempt to use them, but 5 motor trailer sets were adapted to with the doors up in the roof, because they need 80 centimeters for platform height, and the enlargement to close the difference between car and platform. Hanover had also classic trailers, the 1500s, wheel trailers without motors, and only used in service behind 6-axle articulated cars. Karlsruhe is known for its superb interurban and tram train system. They had also Grossraum motor trailer sets for the city lines and Albtalbahn to Bad Herrenalb. So regauged from meter gauge, narrow gauge to standard gauge in 1958. The standard gauge service was opened with these trains in 1958. Here, a Grossraum set built by Rastatt on its terminus in Ruppur is overtaken by the new LRV to Bad Herrenalb. The year I took this picture is 1981. Yeah, we are in Kassel. Kassel only had trailers, Grossraum trailers, no motor cars. And for the first time in history of Frankfurt tramways, Frankfurt sold cars for further use in another city. So it's a former Frankfurt car adapted for use in Kassel. They had a shortage of trailers, and we in Frankfurt, with changes from classic tram to light rail, we need not so much trailers, so we can sold them, but only 3 got to Kassel, 1 spare part and 2 for operation. The big sold out came later in the mid-90s with the movement to Romania and other East European countries. We will see later. This is a original Kassel trailer. Remarkable is a converted passenger flow, normally from back to front, in this case from front to the back. So here in the rear, only a single door, normally is a double door at this position. So the sense was with conductors. Here's a conductor in the motor car and the conductor in the trailer. The first years were nearby. Kiel. I'm happy that I witnessed the Kiel tramways. It's closed in 1985. And in better times, I took this picture of Grossraum in Kiel. And since 1967, with closure of Route 1, where they run first, single operated, to the trunk Route 4, and a single car was too small for the large traffic, and so coupled them in married pairs. So you have 6 married pairs on Route 4, together with articulated cars. Here a shot with a offside. And the Kiel cars were unique, not to compare with Bonn, because they had 8 smaller windows on the offside. If you are a tramway modeler, don't take a Bonn car painted with red stripes and write Fähre-Holtenau or Wellingdorf. It's a fake. It's not the same car. Bonn has larger windows. Cologne, and of course from Westwaggon, the local manufacturer of tram cars. 80 motor cars coupled to pairs because they had only 2 motors in the first bogie. So a single car, for a single car was it enough power, but not towing a trailer. And so they took another motor car as a trailer. They run until 1986, these tram sets. Krefeld has only trailers in the recent years, with 3 double doors like Kassel, but they were a little bit shorter. They have 2.5 windows and 2 large windows. You see 2.5, half, and 2. If I outed me in younger years, the first in my beginning of my drum photographer of a hobby career, I said, I'm interested, my hobby is trams, or are trams. And the opposite women, it was a woman in a bureau, said, you are interested in trams? They are looking all the same. Yeah, okay. I don't want to say more to this. Mainz is my second home city because my father was living there, born there, and my aunt was living in Mainz, direct on Route 8. From her living room window in the second floor, I could watching the passing by trams as a small boy. And this tram is a railroad boomer, served to 3 different companies. The first company was Mönchengladbach. They were running there from 1957 to 1966, 68. 69 was a closure in Mönchengladbach and were sold to Aachen, nearby Aachen. But you know, in 1974, the tram era in Aachen was also over. What doing with these cars? Sold them to Mainz. Yeah, and in Mainz, they spent the longest time. There were 6 cars, but reduced to 3 because one car has a serious accident. No, 2 cars had a serious accident. One car with a truck and another car with a railway shunting locomotive and a grade crossing with a railway. And the third car was burned. So only 3 cars left. Next is Mülheim in the Ruhr area. They had here is a former double end trailer. And the motor car is a single end car. The secret was on the route to Oberhausen, for example, the trailer was only used in Mülheim and left at the city limits, at the city border was left the trailer. The motor car continues the trip to Oberhausen, comes back and pick up the trailer again. But later, that wasn't, the Oberhausen tram route was closed, and so it was not necessary to have double-end trailers. So the doors are blocked and filled up with seats, and you see the passenger sitting here in the former door area. On Route 114, they operated without trailers in some cases, and to remark the very good condition in the paint job of the car. Some cars, motor cars and trailers got a new paint job, the paint job of the Stadtbahn M cars from the mid-70s, and also the remaining Grossraum motor trailer sets were painted in the new color shade. Munich had a lot of Grossraum wagons, 285 motor cars and a similar amount of trailers, but they were 6-wheelers or 3-axle, 2 single axle with motor in front and the rear. In the middle is a pilot or pony wheel. Here we see the M3 type, the older version of the train we have seen here, the newest type from 1965, the M5 motor trailer, and the M3. They had swing out doors. In the middle, the center door in front of the third wheel, and the older cars had telescope doors and the center door behind the middle wheel set. Nuremberg is also in Bavaria, but if you visit Nuremberg, don't name a Nuremberg person, native person of Nuremberg, Bavarian. They will be concerned or very unfriendly if you call them Bavarian. They are Franconians. Yeah, that's had nothing to do with a drama, but it's typical for the local. Here we see a trailer, Grossraum trailer behind a 6-axle articulated car. Both are products of the local factory MAN, Machine Fabrik Augsburg Nuremberg, MAN. Here a classic motor trailer Grossraum set. This train has left Adolf's U-Bahn, Adolf's Underground. Yeah, in this area, in the Nazi time of Germany, from 1933 to the end, 1945, there was a convention of the NSDAP party, and a lot of traffic was necessary or provided by the tram. And to ease the access to the area, they built 2 shorter tunnels for the tram. In 1938, the tunnels were opened. It was one of the first tram subways in Germany. The first was in Berlin. Yeah, here is a complete former Bielefeld train, but the focus is in the trailer, running cross country in the Mannheim-Heidelberg area. The Upper Rhine Railway Company, or OEG, Oberrheinische Eisenbahngesellschaft, bought 4 motor trailer sets from Bielefeld for the route to Heddesheim. This was a route with loops on both sides. Yeah, Grossraumwagens are not really out. In some cases, they find a revival in form of a low-floor car. It's easier to build a low-floor trailer than a motor car. Or cheaper. cheaper to build a low-floor trailer. You can use conventional wheel sets and bogies. Here an example from Rostock. Similar cars had Leipzig, and all the Rostock cars were sold to Leipzig later because the motor trailer sets were replaced by longer low-floor car, articulated cars. Yeah, where is the Grossraumwagen? It's not the trailer. There's walls, doors, and a wall between platform and the passenger compartment. It was at all a former Karl-Marx-Stadt or Chemnitz motor car from the 30s. And this is a 1970 built, the four-axle version of a Reco car, built in Schöneweide, like the Reco two-axle cars for Berlin. And it's a really a Grossraumwagen. You see, there's no wall, no door between the platform and the passenger compartment. Yeah. Stuttgart has also Grossraumwagen. Yeah, on the Rack tramway. This is a Grossraumwagen. Okay, the driver has his own cabin, but the passenger compartment is without any walls and something like this. Yeah, Ulm. We are in Ulm now, and these cars built at Maschinenfabrik Esslingen, the only really Grossraumwagens from this factory, came to Ulm in 1958, and they have saved the Ulm tramways. In this year, the closure of the Ulm tramway was not far away. And these cars in 1958 saved the tram, the first modern cars in the Ulm fleet. 10 cars at all. Yeah, also double-end Grossraumwagens we had. And in the northern Ruhr area, a large rural and interurban tram network called the Festische Straßenbahn. Festische is the area, the name of the area where the lines are situated. They had double-end cars. Not all routes has loops or triangles. As the Festische Straßenbahn tram network is disappeared in 3rd of October 1982. It was a shame in politics and politic decision of the community. Here we come to Austria. This car from 1962 was in its time, 1962, the most modern tram car in Austria. It was a double-end Grossraum car, but with doors on one side only, because all stops on this short line in Gmunden, only 2.5 kilometers, from the city center to the station, had all stops on the way to the station on the right hand and opposite, of course, on the left hand. This car is approaching former terminus of Gmunden Hauptbahnhof. It's still a terminus, but on the city, it's connected with a light railway, and it's going to Forstorf today. Here you see the rear, in parentheses, rear end. And the doors are on the opposite side, of course. And so it looks little bit strange. The front with the controllers and the driver and no doors. It was, you can imagine, it was an export to Britain. Yeah. Innsbruck purchased 6 motor cars, single-ended, built by Lohner in Vienna with DUWAG license. Vienna built a prototype itself in Simmering, in the Austrian-built prototype, but it was not a good success. So they took for the Seria a license from DUWAG and built them in Austria with DUWAG license. Okay, I don't know this line, this word is now disappeared. Have you seen it on your screen also? I apologize. Yeah, now we can discuss, is it a Grossraumwagen or not? The provider, the former rural tramway Opladen Olix in the Wuppertal-Solingen area, called them Grossraumwagens. In comparison of their fleet before these cars came in 1952, it was a Grossraumwagen, larger than a 2-axle car. But in fact, it's not a Grossraumwagen. You see clearly the doors on the wall between platform and passenger compartment. Some providers call the new large capacity cars Grossraumwagen, and in reality it wasn't a Grossraumwagen. But I put it in my presentation to show the difference. It's here in Bremerhaven. The Opladen Olix rural tramway closed in 1955, and the cars, there were 6 cars, yeah, were sold to Bremerhaven. I took this picture in April of 1982, and in July, end of July 1982, tram service in Bremerhaven was over. And so this car wasn't scrapped, but all sister cars were scrapped. This is in the Hanover Tram Museum. near Hanover, Wemingen. And yes, I think, I don't know now exactly if it was scrapped there or they started a restoration of the car. I don't know now. In next month, I will answer this question. Yeah, Hamburg, matching trailer to the V6, V7 motor cars. And I took this picture early April 1976. The trailer operation was over just 4 weeks. I was 4 weeks too late to see trailers on the route, but I had the opportunity to enter the Grossraum Winterhude depot, and so I took a shot of a trailer. It's a 5V7B trailer in the motor. And yes, thank you. There was an association called Conserve the Treasuries of Bremerhaven, and this association was donated former Offenbach Bremerhaven Grossraum train and former Opladen 3-axle motor car, and they stored them in a railway station in the Bremerhaven area, and yeah, that was it. Never do anything on the cars, and over years, 10 years, in the free countryside.
Oof.
This was the result. So, but I have a souvenir in my collection from this train, a sheet of the color, the livery I have here in a box. So now, and here seen in the freight station Frankfurt Ost, the first train to deliver them to Romania. Here you see former Festische Straßenbahnen motor car, double-end car in Lille, in Roubaix terminus. After closure of the Festische tram system, the Grossraum wagons, the bogie cars, and single articulated cars later were sold to Lille. Esslingen, Nellingen-Denkendorf, a rural tramway near Stuttgart, closed in 1978, sold their Grossraum set, 2 motor cars, 2 trailers, to Sopra Bolzano, to the Rittnerbahn, Ferrovia del Renon, but only 1 motor car was adopted for service, and the trailers were used for spare parts in some cases and to scrap. The second motor car also was for spare parts and returned to Stuttgart, and is seen in, you can see it in the Stuttgart Tram Museum. The former motor car 12 has a better fate. He came in service in the Rittnerbahn light railway in South Tyrolia, or in Dolomiti Italy. It's not a sad tram, it's a happy tram. Sad means Servizi Automobilistici Dolomiti oder Südtiroler Autobusdienst. Yeah, Gmunden, a former Festische car from the Ruhr area of Recklinghausen. The offside doors were removed. You know, from car 8, only one side with doors was necessary. This is a former Ravensburg Weingarten Bayernfurt rural tramway set, but only the first and the last car in the picture. That were the motor cars. After closure, they came to the Netherlands to a non-electrified light railway west of Rotterdam, and the Dutchman built a car with a generator to produce the electric current. And this train set provided since 1970 the basic transport in the Zillertal in Tyrolia. You know, Zillertal is near Innsbruck. Okay. And the train returned to the Netherlands later in the 80s. Some former Nuremberg cars found a new home in the sister city of Krakow in Poland. Here you see you in the former Nuremberg car in the Krakow livery, blue and white. A couple of Frankfurt trailers came to Szczecin, former Stettin in Poland. I witnessed only one former Frankfurt trailer in service, pulled by a former Düsseldorf articulated car. I called this train, that's a tram from Düsseldorf, because Frankfurt is a trailer and Düsseldorf is a motor car, and so I named it Düsseldorf. It's a fantasy name that you must not understand it. It's a joke. A former Bielefeld train came to the Mannheim area, to the OAG, Upper Rhine Railway Company, and complete as run in Mannheim, sold to or donated to Arad in Romania. Here a Frankfurt train in Bucharest. Car number 208, former Frankfurt, now Bucharest. I had the opportunity to operate it on the line with passengers. Bucharest also got Munich trams, former Munich trams. This 3-axle motor trailer set was later converted to bogies, to bogie car, for better running conditions on the worst bad track conditions. In the 3-axle version, they often derailed. This Munich train is followed by a former Frankfurt train in this picture. Yeah, what's that? I was in Galatz a couple of years ago, had the opportunity to go in the depot. I witnessed there a former Frankfurt L-type motor car, new painted in former Frankfurt colors, except the skirt was blue. Okay, and the guide in the depot, the gentleman in the depot, the workshop member, pushed open a door. Go inside if you want. Okay, I went inside the car. I closed my eyes. I'm dreaming. That's not my really world. I opened the eyes again. In my Frankfurt Duwag Grossraumwagen L-type Tatra seats. Yeah, they have no other spare parts. So that's, I think, the only Duwag car in the world with Tatra seats. Okay. Now here's another former Frankfurt car in Galatz. Only 6 trains, I remember, went to Galatz and the majority to Bucharest. But they lasted not long. But here in the year 2019, I asked him, you have the cars in good condition? Yes, we use them again. We use them. But not on this day where I visited it. Okay. It's in Switzerland, the Meiringen-Innertkirchen light railway near Interlaken. They had a former Oberrhein Eisenbahngesellschaft, Upper Rhine Railway Company, Mannheim area. Bought and used it in passenger traffic, but it's now replaced by a new car, and this car is still on the property for shunting only. Former Pforzheim trailer, they built to a pilot car, and a Mannheim trailer sandwiched between the Pforzheim car and a native Swiss car on the light railway Bern Warp. Yeah. Hagen closed its tramways in 1976 and sold their cars, some to Würzburg, to Innsbruck, and to Belgrade, the Serbian capital. And here former Hagen Grossraum car used as a driver training car on a circuit in the center of Beograd. They made a full circle and came, after I took this photo, they came back to this point. The trainer opened the door, middle on the road, opened the door and waved to me, come in, come in. And so I had the opportunity to make a ride with a former Hagen car in Beograd. Middle on the road, they picked me up. We are in the Turkey, former Nuremberg motor trailer set in Antalya. Antalya has, since a couple of years ago, a new tram system, but in around 1988 or 89, they opened a tourist tram between the city center and the beach using former Nuremberg motor trailer sets. It's not on Route 3, it's car number 3. They displayed the fleet number in the route number destination box. The route number box, sorry. So it's car 3 with trailer 4. If you want to change the number, turn the route number in the destination box. That's the last picture of my presentation. The former Vienna train and Vienna C2 type bogie trailer in Krakow. Now I am at the end of my presentation, and I am so sorry about the mishaps happened. And I hope and I wish me to get the opportunity in the future to make another presentation, maybe next year. Thank you very much for your audience, and thank you and goodbye. I'm a little bit